Hello, viewers. Welcome to a brand new episode of our Aspire Tech Talk series, a video series where we discuss technology, potential job prospects, and some key skill set that could win you those jobs. And today, we are talking about one of the most valuable assets of this digital world. Yes, you guessed it right, data. We will try to dissect why self service analytics has become the need of this digital era. Now, not just that, we will also talk about some of the most happening job opportunities at Aspire Systems, Data Analytics, and RPA team. To give you some interesting information about this topic, we have with us today Mr. Krishnan Jayaraman, Vice President Data Analytics and RPA at Aspire Systems. Hello, Krishnan. Welcome to our Tech Talk series.
Thank you for having me here today.
Thank you, Krishnan. So let's get into the topic. Krishnan, we all do understand that data is the key thing these days, and it is sustaining most of the businesses. In this fast-paced, data-driven world, what is the relevance of self-service data analytics?
As you pointed out, data in today's world is a very crucial tool for every business. And
Hmm.
not only for just growth alone, is also to understand the patterns about your customers.
Yes.
Irrespective of the business domain, be it bank or a financial institution or a retail, they are collecting a lot of details and data about their end customers. And they want to
Okay.
leverage this data and make sure that they can make some meaningful insights out of the data. So, what does that mean? You should have a proper way to capture the data and also to process and store them in an appropriate way. Now,
Hmm.
all these steps happen in the back end. Now, post that, business intelligence, which is the reporting, which comes as a very big game changer. Now, what it does, it sits on top of the data that has been collected over a period of months or years or even decades, depending upon the customer's historical pattern of data collection. Now, for quite a few years, self service BI has become the norm. Now, what do we mean by self service? Is some of these reports and dashboards that we get to see I mean, basically, it's been viewed by business users for their consumption. Now, there are two ways to look at it. One is you create some canned reports
Hmm.
and dashboards where the IT team creates something basis the requirements that they have collected. And then you can only consume it. To give an example, your banking website, right? Your portal.
Yeah.
Now, those are
Yeah.
also reports only because they're all, if you click on the data, what you get to see is your own data, but the format and the template is already predefined. So you cannot
Okay.
change it. You can only view your respective data depending upon the credentials that you have. Self service is one step above. It's like
Hmm.
you can create your own menu driven approach, create your own columns. You can drag them, drop them. You don't need to be a tech savvy. All you need to do is to have the basic functionality knowledge and knowledge about your business. Of course, they will have because they have been doing that,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
should be able to create some filters, sort, and should be able to analyze the data very easily without the intervention of IT. Now, that's the game changer, right? Because every time if I need to create something, I need to go to the IT to get that created. Whereas if I give you a
Hmm.
self-service analytics,
Correct.
keeping in all the constraints in place. But what I mean by constraints is you shouldn't be dragging and dropping irrelevant columns into a report because that will not throw
True.
an a result. So you should be given a boundary. Within that boundary, you should be able to play, and that's a
Yeah.
very big boon to the business, especially the self-service BI is giving.
So, does it also means that it saves a lot of time for our customers who are using this platform?
Certainly, right? Time is one of the crucial thing which I just said, because when I'm giving you like if you find all these self-service, I create like a menu card.
Hmm.
Now I see all the items, and then you can just pick what you want, like an a la carte, and then have it created for yourself. To give another example is also like, I create certain specification in terms of, geography specific, or it could be region specific, or specific to a HR function or a finance
Hmm.
function. I can group them and then keep it ready. Now what happens is, you will also have a boundary, so that you cannot just go drag and drop someone else's data. Like, somebody cannot access finance data even though you are a
Hmm.
business user. You can only certainly view. So, and I can have canned reports and dashboards, which is like predefined by the IT and created with limited access for those kind of confidential information.
Correct. Yeah.
So the another advantage is, self-service, exposes the tool, and it is very easy to learn. It connects to the same set of wide variety of sources that are
Hmm.
spanned across the business, and it is of course needs to be cleaned, pruned, to be well kept, so that when the business user tries and drags the dashboards, it doesn't throw an error, as long as they are
Yeah.
maintaining all the constraints. So when IT
Hmm.
is developing this, they need to keep this in mind, that it is not just in keeping all the items, right? It's like, as I said earlier, you have all the items, but then when you choose it, it has to be carefully cooked and
Correct.
kept ready, so that the business can actually drag and drop and then consume.
So, this means that businesses can actually save a lot, when they are if they are ready to take this route. So, keeping that in mind, there will be a lot of, from what I can understand, there will be a lot of potential career opportunities that this technology might offer. So, can you tell us some of those most in-demand job profiles that the industry is looking for?
Yeah. So, as I said earlier, we provide a lot of innovative services to our customers, and
Hmm.
we do execute projects in a completely managed services model also, where we take the end-to-end ownership of
Hmm.
delivering a successful project for a customer in the reporting side.
All
So
right.
there are various skills that are involved. Sometimes customers do also ask, just probably a few resources who will be managed directly, from their side.
Hmm.
So irrespective of how they see it, there are some critical roles which plays very crucial for a customer successful journey.
Okay.
For example, a data analyst, or a reporting consultant, or a reporting developer, or a dashboard
Hmm.
developer. And you can also say a consultant. A consultant is like BA consultant, or a
Hmm.
BA architect. Now, to give an example, BA consultant or BA architect is someone who engage with the business even before the development starts. At the very early stage, he
Okay.
interacts like a business analyst. He starts working with the business, identify the various needs from the business, and then
Hmm.
capture them in a proper format, and then go back, find out what are the various different data sources that the business has, and try
Yeah.
to map and then see how the requirements is matching to the data that the business is having, and then leave it as a design document, technical design document, to the architects and the leads, and then the developers, to start developing it. So this is a very interesting career. I have been myself a BI developer, decades ago, and
Okay.
this is very interesting because you will see very innovative graphs, that can be given to the business for consumption, and there is a lot of the data knowledge which will
True.
you will gain about the business, because you're seeing the data right at the end of the day,
Hmm.
on a simple viewing method. So it empowers Both at the technical side, there is a lot of learning that the developers can gain out of working on BA tools, and the business also will see the potential, that because that is the one which the business is actually touching and feeling, right? It's like your
Yeah,
mobile. So you touch and feel
correct.
at the end of the day. But what goes like RAM, your ROM, your hard disk, nobody is able to see it, right? So it's all behind the
Correct.
scene. So this
Yes.
is something like that. So this is a very enthralling, role, and
Hmm.
subject where people can learn a lot.
Okay, so just an add on to that, for example, if somebody is taking up this path of career, what would be the growth graph, that people can look for? Like how, for example, how, when somebody is joining Aspire for whatever the positions that you have mentioned, so how would this industry or this technology help them grow from one level to the other? What would be the
So
growth path?
yeah, so that's very interesting. So growth path, irrespective of whether it is Aspire or for that matter any even directly working with a customer, right? The
Hmm.
growth path is you need to have the basic knowledge of data, a good analytical knowledge about how to parse information, how to view, and what section to consume and all that. If you have that ability, whether you are a fresher or you come with some amount of experience in
Hmm.
some tool, any person can actually pick up a BI tool very swiftly, because it involves very, very less amount of coding. And let's say if you are
Okay.
coming as a fresher with 0 to 2 years of experience, he or she can actually learn and then start contributing more. He or she can become a senior architect or a senior engineer, and then by creating some new dashboards and new types of visualization, having spread across horizontally, right? What I mean by
Yes.
horizontal is either you scale up on one tool and then go vertical,
Correct. Correct.
or
Yeah.
you also grow horizontally by learning five
Yes.
different tools. That's your that shows the power of that the resource,
Absolutely.
right?
Yes.
Because
Yes.
he becomes a master of 4 5 tools, and he can
Hmm.
become an architect. And he don't need to then if he gains that industry experience and 10 years, and if you become an architect, he kinds of designs and describes how the customer business has to come
Correct.
on a business intelligence platform, and then leave it to
Absolutely.
the next level of developers. So the career progression is very, very big for BI developers. They can move to big data, dealing with big data related. They can work
Hmm.
on cloud related. They can gain knowledge on cloud BI. So there is, you can deal with image related data, you can deal with visual data, audio data, text data.
Correct.
So the amount of knowledge that the person will get, and if you implement artificial intelligence, machine learning, then there is a growth for them is huge and very potential for them for their career growth.
Absolutely. So, when we say that growth is, of high potential, and there is a lot of scope for somebody to be it with Aspire or, for that matter, with any organization. So, there are some key skill set that also, especially if we are talking from Aspire's point of view, there are a certain key skill set that we look for somebody who's joining our team, or some candidates that we want to hire and all. So, can you just talk to us about some of the key skill set which are, very crucial for somebody who can have an excellent career in this technology?
Yeah, so there are these 4 5 widely adopted tools in the IT industry itself by the customers also,
Hmm.
which is Microsoft Power BI, Tableau, and
Okay.
then MicroStrategy, SAP Business Objects, ThoughtSpot. So there are a lot of these tools which are being used by different customers at various stages. Some of them are in very
Okay.
advanced stages. So Aspire also constantly look for such candidates, at various levels, like say engineer, senior engineer, and then architect level or consultant level, who is
Hmm.
probably also horizontally grown and also has got good vertical
Correct.
knowledge as well, along with domain skill, then he will be a star performer, right? And those kind of
Okay.
people will come with good analytical skills. We also look for constantly candidates with very positive approach, a good attitude, willingness to
Hmm.
learn, and able to suggest right options for the customers, able to run production support and enhancement, problem solving skills,
Yeah.
good
Absolutely.
visualization skills, that is very
Hmm.
important, and communication is very very important at the end of the day.
Correct.
Because you create something, and if you are not able to articulate what you have created, it becomes dumb,
Absolutely.
right? So you should
Correct.
also have good return and explanation skills, so that what you created you should be able to articulate, and a problem solving approach, right? Because this role requires a lot of problem solving, because as I said in the
Okay.
beginning, you will end
Hmm.
up you're churning a lot of data. Obviously the business will start feeling that the data is wrong, that this is not correct, and then you
Hmm.
should not get offended. You should start looking into it as a business problem. If you are seeing a
Yes.
data and you are not convinced, how will you react to it? So that's how business is going to react to you. So you
Hmm.
should have the approach to solve that problem for the customer. Look at that as a an opportunity to do another deep dive, find out the root cause. If it's something to do with the way the data has come, then I think
Yes.
it's not the issue with the the tool or the way you have designed it.
Hmm.
But if it is
True.
something to do with the design, then it's an opportunity to correct it. So there is a wonderful learning curve for anyone who wants to move into business intelligence.
Okay, just one more question I wanted to ask you. So, usually, what is the kind of years of experience that we look for potential candidates, especially in this technology? Are freshers mostly welcome, or we always look for experienced candidates? How does this work?
So, I mean, as I said ago, we look for different types of candidates. One is we take lateral hires, aspire hires lateral people, experienced people with 4 to 10 years of experience in the business intelligence field, good knowledge
Hmm.
about data, and then because that's a request from the customer also, right? So it all
Hmm.
ties down to how the project is being drafted. If you remember, I said that whether you are taking a fixed bid project, then if it's a large fixed bid project where the
Yeah.
flexibility is, I can have two leads and two senior engineers, and the rest can be junior developers. It can be a
Hmm.
fresher. I don't need to have a 4 year experienced guy. So it all depends on the project constitute model. If the customer says, I
Okay.
want 4 people of architects, then there is no point of me giving them a fresher, right? Because even though that fresher
Ah.
is well knowledge, the customer asks is an architect. So an architect, then it's an architect. I will have to go and hire an architect and then give it back to the customer. But to answer to your point, we generally take practice of hiring freshers also into the system. We train them on different BI tools. We also give them some solutions to develop, some accelerators to
Hmm.
develop. They also work on some proof of concepts before they are tested and then put on customer projects. So they become an experienced 1 year
Correct.
experience, 2 year experienced candidates. There is no boundary or restriction. It's all about the creativity that
Ah.
they have, and which they can actually grow enormously into
Correct.
this industry.
And curious towards learning, I think that should be more than enough to become a very crucial, part of our RPA data analytics and RPA team. So, to our viewers, we really hope that this information was really helpful to you. Do check out our Aspire Systems career page, which is at www.aspiresystems.com/careers. And Krishnan, this was a wonderful experience of talking to you about this, especially this technology, where people go very deep dive into the technology without getting not much of information. But this one, I really feel that we have been able to provide some valuable information to our viewers. And thank you so much for the time that you have spent with us on this and the kind of knowledge you have shared with our viewers.
Thank you for the opportunity, and we will have more such videos published for the benefit of the viewers. Thank you so much.